Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going vlog style. I haven't done a video like this in a little while. And yes, I look tired. Yes, the lighting's terrible. And that's because it's 5:30 in the morning. Today we're going to be delivering a puppy to Las Vegas. And I'm on my way to the Orlando International Airport. I have a 1-hour drive ahead of me. From there, we'll be flying to Las Vegas to deliver 2 Frenchie puppies and then come back home with 1 Frenchie puppy. Got about a 16-hour day ahead of me. I'm going to share with you guys some breeder tips and tricks on how to safely and effectively deliver a puppy by air, and sharing some common mistakes you want to avoid when shipping a puppy. Alright, we made it to the airport. It was hard finding parking. We got about 45 minutes to make it onto the plane with these 2 beautiful little girls right here. Let's go. We're gonna start with the tips and tricks already. One of the most important things you can do, and this goes just with traveling period, is make sure you take a picture of where you parked. Take a picture of that section and that floor of where you parked. Otherwise, you're gonna have a terrible time when you get back. All right, so we made it to our gate. We'll be boarding the plane here shortly. As you see, I do offer nationwide shipping on all my puppies, but I don't normally transport them myself. This was a special case. This client bought both these puppies with breeding rights. So when a client buys a breeding rights puppy, we're gonna have a continued relationship. He's gonna be looking for mentorship from me. And I want to meet the people face to face that are going to be breeding my puppies. So I decided to deliver these puppies myself this time. And that is not where the journey ends. Like I told you earlier, I'll be picking up another puppy and bringing it back home. So I have a previous client out of Arizona that I sold a dog to, and I did a puppy back deal. So I bought that client a flight from Phoenix to Las Vegas to meet him in Vegas. After I drop off these 2 puppies, I'll be grabbing that puppy and then bringing that one back home to DeLand with me. All right, now before I get back into the vlog, let me give you guys some value and share some tips and tricks that I do every time I fly with a puppy. And that makes life a lot easier. First thing is, make sure you bring baby wipes with you. You're gonna want the baby wipes on hand because accidents always happen. Second, you're probably gonna wanna line it with puppy pads. I see this all the time. I've even done that before, but lining the carrier with the puppy pads is not as effective as lining it with the blanket. If you use a blanket and something happens, you can just flip that blanket over. You can flip it over a couple times. So there was a few different times over this trip where the puppy did an accident. I was able to get the poop out of there, flip the blanket, happened a couple hours later, get the poop out of there, flip the blanket again. You can do this a couple times and you still have a nice comfortable blanket for the puppy. Instead of a puppy pad that they're just gonna rip up and make a mess out of, and it's kind of like a one-time use thing, and then you gotta carry even more of them. So I recommend using a blanket, not a puppy pad. And then if it even gets to the point where they've just trashed that blanket, now you can just toss that blanket, and hopefully there's no more accidents at this point, and you can make a clean delivery because you got your baby wipes to clean up with. And here's a common mistake that most people make. Even the client that was bringing me the puppy made this mistake. Right after I warned him, I should have warned him earlier, but right after I told him, hey, make sure you don't feed the puppy, he said, I just fed the puppy. So avoid feeding the puppy the day of delivery. Even try to avoid feeding the puppy the night before. You want that puppy to be on an empty stomach. Sorry, I'm in the kennel, guys, and I got the garage door open. Flies are getting in my way. You want that puppy to be on an empty stomach when you're delivering the puppy. And don't be that guy with the food dish and the water bowl feeding the puppy. The puppy is not going to starve. It is not going to dehydrate on a trip. I don't care if it's 6 hours, 8 hours. Your puppy's going to be completely fine. Adding food and water to the travel, it's just going to add more mess. So don't be that guy with the water bowl at the airport. Don't be that guy feeding the puppy at the airport, or girl. So that's a common mistake that a lot of people make, and I promise you, if you don't make that mistake, your trip will go a lot smoother. Once you get to your destination, you can feed the puppy, give it water, and it'll be completely fine. Now, as much as I wanted to get more footage and vlog a little bit more, it didn't happen. My client was already waiting for me at the terminal. I didn't even know he was gonna be there. I was about to contact him. Next thing you know, he's hollering out my name. So I met him, and remember, this is all from a deal that started over a year ago. I sold him a breeding rights male that he was gonna use to 2 of his females. I approved the 2 females, and I gave him a discounted price on the male for a puppy back in return. So fast forward, here we are. Both of his girls went into heat a couple weeks off, a couple weeks apart, which is very common. A lot of times your females are gonna sync up their cycles. So I was able to pick a second pick back puppy off of 2 different litters, and I picked a beautiful Merle female carrying Rojo chocolate and potentially Fluffy, because both parents were Fluffy carriers, so more than likely that dog will carry Fluffy also. So that's a great pup back for me. I did have to discount the price, I did have to wait a long time, I did have to trust in the client. So it is a big win for me, but it was also a big win for him, allowing him to get that puppy at a lower entry fee. I don't do this all the time, but if I get a good vibe from the client, I approve the females. Typically I do this on a female I sell, so I'll approve the stud the puppy goes to, then I'll go ahead and do a deal like this. And today was my reward, and I got my Merle female puppy back, and now here I am traveling with 3 puppies. Because remember, I haven't even met the other client. So I went ahead and I added this puppy into my carrier. Luckily I had a pretty large carrier, so now I got 3 Frenchies with me, and I'm off to find the next client. So again, I didn't pull out my camera. I was just in flow state, and I was just trying to make sure everything went smooth for not just me, but for these puppies and my client who's wondering where I'm at. So eventually I found him. We went over everything with the puppy. Of course, he had some questions, and I wanted to be fully present in the moment, and I didn't want to just kind of bombard him with the camera and all that stuff. So I take this very seriously. This client spent a lot of money with me, so again, I wanted to be really present in the moment, and from there we head off to have lunch in Vegas and do some shopping. The client had us picked up in a luxury SUV where we headed over to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen for lunch, really nice lunch, and then we went over to Caesar's Palace to do some shopping at the Forum Shops. And those puppies got lots of attention. We ended up forming a whole crowd at one of the stores. So go ahead and cue the montage. So that's what premium puppies do. They stop the show. I couldn't walk 10 feet in that mall without people stopping us, pulling out their cameras, wanting to hold the puppies. And remember, we're in Vegas, a city full of distractions, bright lights and designer stores everywhere. But my puppies stole the show. So if you're looking for a well-bred puppy that's been professionally raised from elite bloodlines, from a breeder who's going to give you ongoing support, then go ahead and reach out. BigBoneBulldogs.com. And make sure you're following me on my socials. I'm most active on Instagram, Big Bone Bulldog Farm, and I'll have the links to all my socials down in the description, as well as a puppy application that you can fill out, and I'll get right back to you. And we'll go over all your options and find the right bulldog puppy for you, or Cane Corso puppy, because if you didn't know, I'm also breeding Italian Mastiffs, otherwise known as Cane Corsos, the best guardian breed you'll ever come across. These Corsos have truly stole my heart and became an asset to my Bulldog program. And we just had a very large litter, so I'm highly motivated to get these puppies into great homes by the time they're 8 weeks. Now back to the vlog, because there's a surprise ending that not even I was expecting, but I'm very satisfied with it. All right guys, so as you can see, we made it to the airport. About to take off from Vegas. I got a long flight back home to Orlando. I told you I was coming out here with 2 dogs, and I was going back home with 1 dog. But I'm going back home with 0 dogs because my client ended up falling in love with the other puppy, and he bought her off me too. So I'm going home empty-handed, but it was a very successful trip. I hope you guys got value out of this video, and I'll see you guys next time.